Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright. Yep.
Yeah. I got something.
That's
for
amazing.
I
did not even. I love that.
That's when I knew I was done. At that moment, I knew I was done. I asked for my release right, like I think it was the SmackDown after that WrestleMania that Tuesday that I'd asked for my release. Like I was told, don't show personality.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
What's going on, everybody? Man, I look like a goof, by the way, in that clip with Damian Sandow. I look insane. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms in that. Look, I got my microphone already. Welcome in, everybody. It is the very first episode live here on the Lazy Booking Podcast TV. We want to welcome you guys in. I'm Chrome, as always, joined by my co-host Eric Archer. Arch, what's up, buddy?
What's happening? This should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We got Who Will Survive? We have Ritz.
What's going on, everybody?
We have Neeson Williams, my guy. What's up?
What's up?
And obviously we have the one and only Mr. Jim Velasco. What's up, brother?
What's up, everyone? Are you ready for the Survivor Series?
The Survivor Series. I just hope at some point somebody pops out from somewhere with a gobbledygooker outfit, and that would just make everything perfect. But
I do have a turkey hat from Friendsgiving the other night. I was thinking about pulling it out, but
hey,
I figured I'd get some comments from the guy on my right because he's always 100% to say.
100% smart ass.
Be here all night.
Guys, we're excited to come at you. We talked about it earlier on our show on A2D Radio, which, again, you're going to see every Tuesday night. It's not going anywhere. But we are going to start bringing you guys additional content here on Lazy Booking Podcast TV. We're going to have this. We'll probably have some other shows that get added. We're going to do live reactions, which, by the way, this Saturday night, Mr. Ritz over here is going to be bringing you a live reaction to this year's WWE Survivor Series.
Yep.
So we're excited for that. We already got a couple of comments in here.
SS season, baby. That means it's WrestleMania season, baby.
It sure is. I said that earlier. Some people say Royal Rumble is the kickoff. I think it's the Survivor Series.
This is the road to Survivor Series.
Oh,
or
100%.
WrestleMania. Sorry.
100%. And Dynasty, subscribe tonight watching our other show. So you can come and join in. Looking forward. Good to see y'all again. Thank you, Dynasty.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a little while.
Been a little while. But yeah, listen, we do this usually with our A2D radio shows, but it's a late night. They got the Flyers Talk A2D going on over there. This is our Survivor Series Roundtable show, and it's a special show that we like to talk about the history of the event, the Survivor Series, talk about our favorite moments, and we're going to do something a little bit fun tonight. We are going to do a fantasy draft and draft a all-time Survivor Series team. And the parameters of this will be that everybody here gets 5 members, and you pick one member from each decade, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, and 20s, who has participated in either the Survivor Series traditional match, or obviously with the 20s, it's the WarGames match, right? Because you can't really do that. And at some point, we're going to post it this week, and we're going to poll people, see who thinks drafted the best all-time team. Who would be the ultimate team to survive? So we're going to do all that. We're going to have a little bit of fun, but let's kick it off, guys. Let's talk about this Survivor Series. Some people have called it the All-Star game. Some people say the Rumble is. I think you could argue this is an All-Star game. And this was something that started, obviously, it was on Thanksgiving night, right? And it's evolved, and it's usually typically around Thanksgiving. But I have to say, I mean, I loved the Rumble as a kid. But when I looked at things and I thought rewatchable matches and things that I just found myself constantly diving into multiple events to watch over and over. I always thought the Survivor Series was one of those shows, was like one of the best shows. I mean, there were ones that I liked better than WrestleMania some years. And I just want to talk about the history of this. And obviously, the first one opened where it was good guys and bad guys on teams and this and that. And it evolved into so much. When you think of the Survivor Series, and we'll start with Neeson on this one. When you think about the Survivor Series and kind of where it all started and what it meant and storytelling and this and that, what comes to your mind? How do you look at the Survivor Series in terms of its legacy with professional wrestling, WWE?
You know, it's funny when I think over time it's changed because of them trying to wash what Survivor Series was multiple times. It was the getting up basically All Star, their version of an All Star going on Thanksgiving and going against a Starcade, etc. So put all your stars in one basket, blah blah blah, and then you went into it quickly started to just to fade into this brand supremacy thing. I mean, after you get from the '90s, it started turning to brand supremacy, and then you get into what it is now, right? Like what we see now going to the WarGames edition of everything, and it's not so about which brand is gonna own it. So my brain just gets like, well, I want to talk about which decade first, but the first thing honestly reminds me of like a Undertaker. And for whatever reason, the Undertaker is attached to the first thought. I mean, I know why, but the Undertaker is attached to the first thought of what Survivor Series is to me, and just that character. And then you look back, some amazing stars are either made or broken during Survivor Series, right? From your Dolph Zigglers to your Rocky Maivas to even moving up further to Becky, like Becky Lynch getting her nose broken and having that moment. There's so many stars, and that's why it's such a, to me, a special, my least favorite, but a special pay-per-view in my eyes, or PLE in my eyes.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's so many different stories that came out of it, and
Yeah.
there really is a history of that went on decade to decade. You talk about the '90s with Diesel and Shawn Michaels, right? Where that ultimately started to happen. There were cracks in the seam, but Diesel's face turn happens at the '94 Survivor Series, right? There's just so many different things, and obviously that kind of spawned off into that feud that eventually led to one of Shawn Michaels' early run that led him to a world championship, an intercontinental championship and whatnot. We're going to address this in a little bit. Gauge my IQ. I appreciate that comment in there. But Jim, what do you think?
I mean, for me, growing up, Survivor Series was like when you could see everyone. Because even if it was Royal Rumble, even if it was WrestleMania, not everyone made the card because there were only so many spots. With Survivor Series, it's like, oh, you're going to have 8 or 10-man matches and multiple matches, which means you had to fit everyone in the card. I mean, going back to like the New Generation era, they were so short on talent that they even pulled in talent from other companies or even like Brett's brothers because like, hey, we need to fill out this card. So Survivor Series was always just like the one where, hey, you haven't seen this person in a while, but you're going to get everyone. And I mean everyone. And even thinking back to the infamous wild card match where, as you said, Chrome, where normally it's heels versus face. That one just threw me off because it's like, wait, heels are with faces are with heels. It was just, yeah, it was nuts. So,
I remember that too, by the way. Like,
yeah.
I was pretty young when the first Survivor series happened. So as I got a little older and I started kind of going back to those first like 2 or 3 that I didn't really see, I was very thrown off by this whole like, okay, everybody. I mean, I loved it in hindsight, but it was like you said, it's the concept of you get so programmed, especially at that age, face and heel, that when you saw like, okay, the survivors of this then ultimately get paired together in a team to find out who the ultimate survivor was, it was a little bit off-putting for me at a point.
Yeah, even when they did the heels and faces and they did like the survivors of each match thrown together, they still kept it as heels and faces. So that wild card match will always stick out with me. But yeah, like I said, Survivor Series is the one where you got to see pretty much everyone on the roster wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just, I'll get into my point in a minute. Andy, go ahead. I agree with you though, 100%.
It's ironic that this was almost like their answer to WarGames. It was their version of WarGames, and now here we are, some 20 some odd, 30 some odd years later, and we're doing WarGames at Survivor Series. This is all.
Andy, to your point, real quick, you're right. It was almost like they tried to combine like the Battle Bowl and WarGames, because when you talk about that wild card match, right? That's kind of where the Battle Bowl aspect would kind of come in, where heels could be teamed with faces and this and that. So it is ironic that, like you said, that this is what I guess the legacy of this generation now is of Survivor Series.
Yeah. And you sit back and you think about all the iterations, and it was, there was that era where it was heels versus faces, that it became, like, I think it was Jimmy that said it was the brand supremacy. But this was without a doubt where you saw, it was the first instance, and we said it right as the show kicked off. It's the road to WrestleMania. This is where you saw a lot of storylines come together, converge, and then essentially we traded dance partners following this. And we gave ourselves, because it was only 2 months before the Royal Rumble. So you started giving those inklings on, all right, where are people going to land come the Rumble? Where are they going to land come Mania? This was a great preseason, if you want to put it into other terms, to kind of kick things off and set the stage for what would come in the next few months. And a lot of times when you sit and you watch Survivor Series, you have to look at those memorable moments, and we'll get to them as the night goes on. But there are some of, and I didn't think about it until we were on the air, some of my favorite moments are from Survivor Series nights. Some of my favorite moments of all time in wrestling. You had returns, you had debuts, you had turns, you had, betrayals, whatever the case may be. You never truly knew what was going to happen on Survivor Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really iconic moments, especially later in some of these more recent years. Dynasty indicated one that probably is one of our best live reaction. But on TikTok, it's my most viewed video. We'll dive into that in a second. But go ahead, Eric.
I don't know what else to say. A lot of stuff's been already
shocking.
Been already discussed.
Sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, so this was the answer to Starrcade back in 1987. So
I think that's right. I think that's like technically what it actually was, right?
So technically what happened was Starrcade was going to be on Thanksgiving night, and as you can see now, not much has really changed. The counter programming that you see now versus where we were in 1987. And the answer was the Survivor Series. You think about it, WrestleMania was the only pay-per-view that they had at the time. So this was kind of, is there a thirst for more? And now you see where we're at now, where there's a PLE or pay-per-view every 4 weeks or every month or so. So it's just it's kind of some of the things that are happening now versus where we were then. But I mean, there's been a lot of moments, not even in those traditional Survivor Series matches. There's been singles matches that have done well. The first one that I watched all the way was 92. I got in a little later in the game. But, I mean, that's the first Brett Shawn match. There was that tag match where we had a pretty wild situation that we didn't know back then with Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man, and gets replaced by Mr. Perfect with one of the more classic face turns that we've seen. Primetime wrestling, and Macho Man's looking for the perfect partner, and it's Mr. Perfect. And the rest is history. So there's some really, really strong moments in Survivor Series. And I think it's a very underappreciated event as well, where you kind of think, all right, it's kind of just a gimme and we're going to get through this and move on to Royal Rumble. But I think it plays a significant role in the year, and it brings a lot of pieces together, ends, and starts a new chapter.
Yeah, my thing with it, I always thought, and again, people make the argument now that it has to have a storyline. And I don't believe that everything has to have a storyline, because the storyline can literally be good guys versus bad guys, right? That's how they always did it, and it was successful before. And I looked at Survivor Series as, if there is no storyline to go into it, a lot of times they came out with a storyline. So
Yeah.
it almost served the same purpose as what the Royal Rumble did, in that they were able to create new stars. You go back, and I know there was other aspects of the Rocky Maivia character, but that was an opportunity for WWE to basically come in and say, this guy's going to be a player. And we are, it took them a little bit to weave and find a way to get to there with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, but they knew that he was going to end up being a player at some point. They did that quite a few times over years. Dolph Ziggler was one who was the ultimate survivor and overcame, the year that Sting made his debut for WWE. But there's so many iconic moments that have happened at Survivor Series. There's memorable moments. I keep going back to it, but it's one of my favorite Survivor Series is 1994, the Bob Backlund Bret Hart I Quit match, right? And that was kind of WWE kind of trying to mimic the George Foreman at 45 comes back and wins the world heavyweight title in boxing, right? But it was another key moment in the Bret and Owen story that was told, and implementing Stu and Helen, and for him to appeal to Stu and Helen, my brother's, he's hurting, he's suffering, help him end it, this and that. And then, obviously we saw where that kind of tailspin too. So I just think that the question came up, does it need to be a part of it again? I don't understand why. Oh, and by the way, another one. Go back to 06 with CM Punk teaming up with DX. I mean, that was, and the Hardys. I mean, that was an ultimate, like, hey, dude, here's the rub. But yeah, circling back, I have not understood why we can't have at least one on the card. We randomly find a way to get to a WarGames match. Why can't we use the same, recipe to get to a Survivor Series match? And they did it really well this year, and they put it on SmackDown, which bothers me. That traditional match, I don't see why that could not be on the main card. I would almost rather have that on the card than have Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. And I'm not trying to knock anything, but I know. So I'm sorry, Neeson. I'm just saying, like,
Dare you, sir?
why can't we have the WarGames matches and have one? Even I don't even care if it's on the pre-show. Like, why can't we have it be a part of the event? And what do you guys think? I know. I understand. I know.
You can't have the hard cam, the heel corner, split standing between two rings. Like with the 5-on-5 sort of thing. So that's why you cut that instead of having. At least that's my first thought is a production side. You wouldn't want that. Like
that's fair.
You could cut off half rings when it's one-on-one matches. You could, like NXT did it all the time. They would have the one-on-ones, then they have the war game match, or the 2 war game matches. I think it's interesting that you said that it's story. It doesn't have to have a story because it's an all-star, but then you named all memorable things having stories. Like all the things that you named had a story attached to it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that's fair. But then again, I could go back to, we mentioned Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Like they had their own story within the story, but the reasons for those teams being put together were as random as it gets, right?
But there's the line right there. The story within the story, right? Yes, you have a reason for the team to come together, and there's your story. Like we look at the men's Survivor Series match now, and you have the Vision, Brock Lesnar, and Drew McIntyre. They've come together for one reason, and then you have literally, honest to God, a true all-star cast in Punk, Rhodes, Roman, and the Usos. But there's that story within on the face side between Punk, Roman, and Cody, especially after last night. Over on the heel side, you have kind of that dynamic between the Vision and Logan Paul. That's what's really forwarding this story. The Drew McIntyre Brock Lesnar thing, that's just bonus. So there are small little stories within, and I think the people that say that Survivor Series should have a story don't understand the true idea of Survivor Series. It was to take 5 guys that can put their differences aside over here to take on 5 guys they don't like over here. And within that, there were stories, whether it was on the same side or against each other.
Mm-hmm. And to that point, I think this Survivor Series match, I agree. Well, I'm not a fan of just the Survivor Series match. I like the WarGames aspect because it gives a little extra, umph around it. Now, doing it yearly, don't know about that. But I do like the fact that it's on SmackDown. I do like the fact that we still get the traditional. I wish we had more. I wish we had the whole SmackDown being. Won't do the whole SmackDown Survivor Series matches, like in general, and be able to, because I think he did that from one.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, like have that SmackDown just be like we're going completely traditional with NXT mixture, like whatever it may be, like just put those quote unquote stories together, and then you get eyes on the other stories, and the commentators could talk about it intertwining. I think Brock, that shot of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso in the ring with Logan Paul laying on the ground was like, oh, this is really an all-star team. And also, Logan Paul is going to be a real game. Like, everybody's like, okay, Logan Paul is going to be a guy, but, like, he's really going to be a guy if you have these 4 with Jimmy on the side, but these 4 are all world champions standing over him and pouring prime on him, like, doing the whole baby faces embarrassing the heels thing, but like really embarrassing him. I think that's what Survivor Series is for, and I wouldn't be surprised if Logan Paul gets the win. Like, I would not be shocked if he gets the final pin in this, only because we're talking about stories and like propelling what's WrestleMania gonna be like. I mean, the people we name, Brock Lesnar and the other 4 on the other side, they're going to eat each other up. Like, who do we have left?
Well, so let me, I threw this out there earlier on our show, a little bit earlier on A2D Radio, and I want to get your guys' opinions on it. We're talking stories, right? And obviously, particularly with the Vision, I think that happened probably a little bit earlier than they wanted to due to Seth's injury. Yeah. If I'm looking at this, Bronson has his signature victory over Roman. And, Eric said maybe Cody should be one of the ones to take the pin. And I'm not opposed to that. I don't know if it hurt. I don't think it really would hurt him. But if you really want to tell the story, right? And particularly for when Seth comes back and sets the stage. And again, this is the match to do it. Why can't you have Braun Breaker be the one to pin CM Punk, which is one of those things that outside of the Money in the Bank, it is one of those things that Seth obsessed over. He obsessed over Roman Reigns. He finally got his win over Cody. So if you were to have Braun Breaker now get a key victory, whether it's CM Punk, I would do Punk because he has Seth's particular championship right now, but you could do Cody too if you would like to, and have them do it to a point where both of these guys at a very young age have done what Seth obsessed for many years to try to do, which is take those particular guys down. How does that story hit you?
I mean, it's why not do it at Rumble? Like, I think you have him win Rumble and you blow your, if he pins him here, you can see it, you'll predict it at Rumble, right? Like, it'll be like, oh, he's the next thing. Remember when Dolph Ziggler won the final thing, you thought he was going to win the Rumble. Like, you think you do it here, you think it's a chance. You don't do it here, you pull the trigger at Rumble, or even that, Elimination Chamber is in Chicago. Like, you pull it.
That's a good one. I would almost rather it be there.
Yeah,
I think I think what the key is that we talked about on the show earlier was you have two babyface champions right now. Not something that's typically happening at WrestleMania, right? You typically have a heel with a babyface chasing. So right now, I mean, it looks for all intents and purposes like you're probably, unless somebody drops it at the Royal Rumble or at the Chamber, that you're going to have two babyface champions going to WrestleMania. I think it's very crucial, especially where the vision is right now, because they haven't had, like Chrome said, Bronson has his key win. Braun has kind of been lurking in the shadows a bit and could use the win to catapult him. And also, especially with Cody, since he's won the title at SummerSlam, not a lot of challengers on SmackDown. There's not a lot going on. There's the cupboard's pretty bare right now. There's got to be a plan for Cody Rhodes moving forward. That could start at Survivor Series. And you have a long way to go between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. That's the next PLE. So there's got to be something that happens between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. I would say it's probably it makes sense for something to happen at Survivor Series.
Let's call a spade a spade. Braun Breaker hasn't done a damn thing in about 2 months.
Rumble, baby.
Okay. So I'm with Neeson here, and I've said it on one of the last In This Very Rings we did. I've said it on Lazy Booking, right? Braun Breaker, they're setting him up to win the Royal Rumble. Anything beforehand doesn't really need to happen. As much as it pains me to say, because I would like to see the baby faces standing tall on this one, just because, well, I'm the Antichrist on some things when it comes to certain individuals. But Logan Paul getting the win here, and specifically pinning CM Punk, that builds us into a Logan Paul CM Punk at a Saturday night's main event, at something before the Rumble. Because while, yes, we do have the Saturday night's main event where it's John Cena's final match, and that's supposed to be all main talent versus up and coming, NXT talent. Okay, awesome. But then right after that, like a week before the Royal Rumble, is another Saturday night's main event. So you could do that there. Then you can set up for Bronson Reed versus CM Punk at the Rumble. Braun Breaker wins the Rumble. CM Punk, Braun Breaker, we don't mess around with that at Elimination Chamber. You do something else in Chicago for that. You do a contract signing, whatever, because you're going to put Punk on in Chicago. That's money. When it comes to Cody Rhodes and what they're doing with him, I think they've been really kind of, I don't want to say babying Cody Rhodes, but they've kept the kid gloves on for this title run, and they've kind of protected him, and they've done things with somebody like Drew McIntyre. It's almost like they're waiting, and I dare I say, they're waiting for Randy, and they're going to do the Cody Randy thing now, and they're going to.
Oh, I think that's what's going to happen 100%.
Damn, that was loud. Holy hell, that scared the shit out of me.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Quick shout out. This gentleman doesn't actually think our show stinks. This is my original co-host back in 2016 when the podcast started, Billy. Who's just being a pain in the ass.
You
by
stink,
the way,
pal.
You stink,
Me,
pal.
Billy.
By the way, he might be joining us for a couple of shows, so stay tuned for that. Be awesome to have one of the OG founders of this show. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to make sure I put that's why I started laughing when I saw it. I was like, that bastard.
But
anyway, yeah, good.
But to finish that up before I got the bejesus scared out of me, right? was you do Cody Randy here, you take that all the way through to Elimination Chamber, and dare I say maybe even WrestleMania. That's what you're going to do with Cody. It feels like they're protecting him for something. I don't know what. Randy's the only thing that really stands out to me. I don't want to say protecting, but it sounds like they're cradling him right now. Just going to leave that on here for a little bit.
Oh, I mean, look at how beautiful that face is right
there. There it is.
Appreciate the comment there, Christina Vasilakis.
I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of what Neeson and Ritz says, I agree with the whole thing with Braun Breaker, because the fact that he was left out of the last time's now tournament, whether he was going to get to the end or not, is just so glaring that they've just been letting him on. He's on a low heat simmer, and they're just going to let it boil for the exact moment that they want.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. This comment is interesting to me too, and I talked about this for a couple weeks with Eric on our show on A2D. I mean, Drew, I've actually been on this, Eric. I've been on this for 2 months. That it is driving me crazy because I think that they have devalued Drew's impact so much because he just loses big match after big match after big match. And he's so good on the mic. Like, I'm almost at the point now where do we need him to go away and come back as a face? Like, I feel like something different needs to change it, whether it's some kind of a major signature win, a pin against a Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns in this match could be something that could help him. And I know it's Survivor Series, right? So you could say, well, there's different circumstances that could kill that a little bit, but still, just everything is imagery. And at the end of the day, short-term memory fades when it comes to long-term lasting image, and him pinning one of those top talents, I feel like he needs a signature win. And I'm not necessarily advocating that it does happen here. It could be Logan Paul. I think the heels are winning this 100%. I would be utterly shocked if the incredible all-star team of the faces actually wins this. But I could make an argument that Drew might need this pin more than anybody at this point.
I'll second that because I think he having him not get the pin Monday night and letting Logan, well, yeah, it was kind of a cheap ass pin at the end, right? Having him not be involved in that finish to get the advantage was kind of telling. And it's like, all right, Drew's just a supporting character in all of this. This is really the Logan Paul show when it comes to this team over here. Because we know that Bronson, like you said, Braun Breaker, we're setting him up for something. Bronson is eventually going to go into a title picture. This is going to cement that Logan Paul deserves to be, because that was one of the things CM Punk said. You don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to have the title shot. You don't deserve. That this is going to help solidify that if he captures that pin here. Drew not getting it, that's a problem because this is the man, and I'll die on this hill every time. He carried this company through the pandemic, and when he was champion in one of the hardest times to be a performer in the industry, and now they're just saying, hey, awesome, thanks for doing that, but go hang out in catering. We'll call you when we need a psychopath.
I think Drew is being, honestly, I think it's going to be a Drew and Brock getting into Mania. I think this is the perfect way to either, like you said, you could make Drew more of a badass.
Don't hate that, by the way.
No,
I don't either.
Not at all.
I don't want to. No one wants, like, because Drew went through everyone on that side already. He's went through Cody Rhodes. He's went through CM Punk. He's went through Jay. He's went through Jay. He's went through Jimmy. Like, it's nothing for him to do with any all-star on that side moving forward. So if we're talking where else does he go, only place, if you look around, the only place he hasn't really gone since the WrestleMania in front of nobody is the Brock Lesnar of it all. And I think him really having a Brock Lesnar moment and run, and it really cements him as the bad. The problem with Drew is that he's too much of it. It's the Dolph Ziggler issue. He's too good. He's too good at every moment and every time. Rather you cool him off or heat him up, he doesn't matter. He could sit in catering for 5 months. He comes out. He's gonna get a pop. He's gonna do amazing. He's gonna have a promo, and then he could sit in catering for another 3 months and do the same thing time and time again. So yeah, we talked about Fatu. I mean, Fatu is injured, but I don't even think we need to revisit that. Like, at the moment, I think you have Brock right there, and I think kind of that's what's priming up for us. So I see it being a Logan Paul show. I think it would have been the Seth Rollins show if he was still around,
Yeah.
So I see it being the Logan Paul show, and I see Logan Paul really riding this wave to getting some sort of title match, and I wouldn't be surprised if he walks into WrestleMania with a title and loses it at WrestleMania. But I see him getting walking into WrestleMania with a headlining match.
Dude, I love the idea real quick of Brock too, because what was like probably the last, I mean, obviously there's two really big moments right before fans were in arenas. And it was Adam Copeland, Edge's return at Royal Rumble. And in that same match, it was Drew getting rid of Brock. And we never really got to that payoff because of what COVID kind of did. And man, like you could really go back to that. And if we're going to say we're going to turn Drew face here, which I honestly think he's at that level. He could be the same character and the level he's at now. Maybe more of a face with that edge, a little more than he had when he did have that face run.
Mm-hmm.
And you can really harp back to, he could have some kind of a self-realization of this was the moment that I thought that I was going to kind of be like the next guy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of all taken away. And you can feed off of that as that core moment. And I feel like I need to get that moment back with that guy and catapult off somehow, however you want to get there. I'm just kind of spitfiring something, but I love this idea now. I mean, and we've been talking about it for weeks, months. Like, where does Brock go? Like when he came back at SummerSlam, it was like, what's his plan for WrestleMania? Do you go back to Gunther again? And maybe that is something that they do that they never got to do. But man, I would love to see this with Drew. If it gets us to like a Drew face turn with a little more of an edge, I'm all for it.
So kind of like we talked about on our show earlier, Chrome, we kind of asked the question because we didn't really talk about Brock and what he's going to do in the WarGames match. And saying, knowing how he's been booked, he's only been in one match and completely destroyed John Cena. Is it logical that he just comes in there and just wrecks everybody and then he starts wrecking his own team? Not everybody, but maybe that's the way to get the Drew, where something happens where maybe he accidentally claymores Brock. Brock doesn't like it and gives him an F5 for his trouble. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the pin, but that could be something that you could logically get to from that point.
Yeah.
Well, going off of that, I feel like he's going to be the last entrant into the match.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You
But
build
see, go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
You build him up because it's Brock, and obviously Brock, if he's not going to main event, he's going to curtain jerk because he wants to get out of there. This is pretty much the same thing. He's not going to curtain jerk WarGames, so he's going to be the main event of the main event by coming in last.
And one of the I'm sorry, Andy, real quick. One of the things that we've been questioning since WrestlePalooza is why the heck did Brock squash John Cena and we haven't had an end game? And I've questioned it for quite some time. And maybe it's just the fact that Brock Lesnar is going to be booked to be, and we keep talking about Braun and Bronson, but maybe the direction is going back to Brock again, for better or for worse.
I've made the argument real quick that, and part of me thinks that Cena might have been originally involved in this match, but when everything happened with Seth, things changed. They pulled the Team Cena idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I essentially think that Brock was dropped into the Seth spot. I think Cena, whether it was within this match or it was in a one-on-one contest, he was going to get his win back against Brock at this pay-per-view, or PLE. But because of everything that happened with Seth in the scramble, the next logical thing to fill that spot is to go back to the history of Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and drop him into Seth's spot in this match, which in turn gets us, obviously, I think that most of us are pretty happy about getting Dominic and Cena. So I think there's just not enough time for them to make up for the injury that Seth got that kind of threw the. That's my feeling on it, and I think Neeson, you seem like you're kind of on board with that.
I do have a problem with Cena and Dom again at Survivor Series. I kind of
Right.
would have rather seen Dom and Ray again at Survivor Series in San Diego for the AAA title. I think that would have put the AAA
That would
title
have been cool.
on a
Love that.
on a platform, and then even getting a rematch at their next thing. But you know, that's just me being picky. But yeah, I think it was definitely the Cena. We can't put it past that it was one WrestlePalooza, which they're trying to make. TKO is trying to make it their WrestleMania, right? Like they want WrestlePalooza to be the flagship PLE for ESPN. They recently came out and said they're not afraid of, you know, changing the traditional ideas of like why WrestleMania is big, why is Royal Rumble as big as it is. Like we can have these other things and maybe just change kind of the approach of what Vince's old way of thinking. That was the quote. So I think the Brock Lesnar of it all was really just for the Brock Lesnar pop of it all. Like, to be honest, like it was Brock Lesnar, it was Cena, and it was ESPN, and they had to make a splash on ESPN. That I wouldn't think any too deeper than that because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, for it to be in such the later dates of Cena's run, right? Like, and where it was and all those things. So I just wouldn't put that much stake into the WrestlePalooza of it all.
I think too, adding to that real quick is that we can't forget, and they've been very, very open about the fact that they started on ESPN so much earlier than expected that they really threw that event together. I mean, even the name of it, obviously it was supposed to be like a dedication or like a callback to the ECW show that they did, but Hunter talked about it in an interview. A lot of this, the logo, everything about that was kind of thrown together like in a very short notice that I think they knew they had to make an impact. I think they thought in the short term they would be able to get to Survivor Series with this, give that big moment with Brock shockingly taking Cena out during this run, and then give Cena an opportunity later to get it back. It didn't happen, and this is where we're at, and we just kind of move on from it.
Yeah, well, you know, they wanted the spike for NFL, right? Like, why we seen it happen when WWE went over to Peacock, when it goes over to Netflix, and it's at the start of their year when they have the whole slate go from what can you look forward to for the rest of Netflix for the rest of the year. That's their big thing. January, you see everything that's going to come out every month from January to December. That is their flagship thing. And so that's why they wanted it at the top of the year for that. So it wasn't a surprise that it came in last minute, and they're like, look, football's here. Like, we need to get these before Monday Night Football comes. We need to get these subscriptions up. Wrestling has great followers. We've seen a spike in each one of your platforms you go to. Throw a PLE right now. Okay, great. Who do we have to do? Well, let's call Brock. Like, who's the big surprise? Call Brock. Have seen a headline. You know, like, it's pulling all the things, getting all the things, and making it happen that fast. So that's why I was like, I put no stock into the WrestlePalooza of it all because it is we just got to pull all triggers and basically have an all-star show that, you know, makes it seems like it's going to matter to anything, but it's not. But Survivor Series, what comes out of this, it's going to matter.
And this is going to go into the nitty-gritty of it all, but also pay attention to when WrestlePalooza happened and when the fiscal year ends.
Oh, for sure.
That's true.
Well, and I think this WrestlePalooza was also a safe bet too, right? Because I didn't watch it, right? And I didn't, other than the mixed tag match, what did I really miss? Well, yeah, it was an all-star show. What did I really miss? I didn't miss anything. So I think it was, hey, we want to do a show that's going to gather everybody's attention. Obviously, AJ Lee, obviously Brock Lesnar, right? But if people miss it or the app crashes or if something doesn't work right, we're not going to have, a huge issue here, right? You can write that off and we can move on. Because if you look at, other than the Becky AJ thing, nothing is really carried over from WrestlePalooza long term. And then when you think about Brock Lesnar, Jimmy said it best, right? Brock Lesnar main eventing. Brock Lesnar's the last one in, but he's not the last one in because they won the advantage Monday night, right? The funniest thing about the men's Survivor Series match for me is going to be watching Brock Lesnar stand in that cage waiting for 25 minutes before he can go out there, right? And then you're going to have Roman come out after that. So he's going to be upstaged immediately, immediately 2 minutes later, because he's not the last one in the match. And I think that's going to play into some of that story we were talking about, getting Drew involved and kind of tying this all back to how further out we can take a lot of these storylines that are going to come away from Saturday.
And I want to piggyback off of that too. I think the last few years we've seen in the cage, especially with Roman's teams, where they're deciding who's going in and who's going out. I can't wait to see that interaction with Cody, Punk, and Roman, and who's going in, who's going out, who's going to defy who. It's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be even more intriguing than the match until they all get in there, because it's going to be fun to see.
I just think it's hilarious that when WarGames was begun in the NXT era, that the All-Stars, so to speak, or, the heel teams was always the Undisputed Era. Well, members of the Bloodline are just forever going to be in WarGames now since it's on the main roster. And this is just where we are.
It's the Horsemen aspect, right? The Horsemen were always in the WarGames. So,
or even when it wasn't the Horsemen, Dangerous Alliance, and so basically we're just going to put Arn in every cage match.
Well, listen, go back to NXT. The Undisputed Era was until they left the company, they were in every WarGames match as well. It's just, what I mean? It's kind of the throw the heel group in there and let it go.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to have, multiple people are always going to have an issue with that heel group. So it was kind of the easiest way to get there too, to tell a story, to get multiple people in at the same time. I think it's going to be an interesting match. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Again, the star power and even including the women's match. And I mentioned this earlier, 14 former world champions across the two matches out of the 20 competitors that are involved. If that's not star power, and that's on top of John Cena headlining yet another pay-per-view with another title or PLE, they really have gone guns a-blazing in this. I do want to dive into the women's match here, because I think the storytelling to get into this point has been very good. I know Eric has been very big over the last few weeks on Becky Lynch, and Becky has been wild.
Becky Trump.
Becky
I'll call her Becky. She's literally mimicking Trump, and it's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's leaning right in.
Becky Trump / Becky Hogan.
Eric talked about that last week. He said, I think when you referenced Becky and you were talking about, or no, it was in your anecdotes with Arch. You mentioned that she was mimicking a certain specific someone, which
everybody's got an opinion about, like them or not. Everybody's got an opinion. So with Becky, people have opinions about that too, and she's leaning right into it. And it's been awesome. And nobody's been safe. It's conspiracy theories and who's gonna screw me over and who's against me and who's great and who's the best, and everybody knows it, and it's been great.
Historically, from SummerSlam to Survivor Series has always been Becky's kind of era of the year. It's where you see a lot of her greatest work, and I think we really saw that on a high level here, right? She helped facilitate the return of AJ Lee, and then what she did with Maxine Dupree, whether you like Maxine or you don't like Maxine, what she did there and how she came about that, and how all these things have woven themselves together to get us to this point, to get us to Survivor Series, which is a defining career moment for her. That's where she became the man, right? Getting her nose broken that week and a half before, that's where that whole character spawned. Like, We built a year around a broken nose. We built a whole character, a whole gimmick, an image. And so now leading into Saturday, first of all, I'm so glad that the rumors were wrong, that they said Charlotte was not going to be part of the match, so Bayley and Lyra could be. That was an awful, awful rumor, and those people should be stoned to death for that. That being said, having Becky here with the Kabuki Warriors and then Lash and Nia, these are all people that are going to benefit from that Becky Survivor Series rep. I mean, Nia did when she broke Becky's nose. And then you look on the other side and you have arguably an incredibly, again, this is an all-star team for the women too, in Rhea and Io and Alexa and Charlotte. And now you have AJ Lee doing a match she's never done before on a pay-per-view that she never really highlighted or on high level because it was a different era and a different time. And we're showcasing that. And she said she's going to bring the old AJ back. And I think this match is more violent, bell to bell, than the men's match will be. These women are going to go out there and they're going to put on a show and they're going to put on a spectacle. But the highlights here are going to be whatever Becky and AJ do, because this is not over. This is not done. This is Becky's time. This is Becky's season. And she's going to remind everybody come Saturday why this is her time of the year.
And whether people will in the matches will admit it or not, both matches are basically going to be compared to Blood and Guts, and especially the women, they're going to want to show up and show out over the women's Blood and Guts match.
Yeah.
So, also, does anyone have a tally on how many WarGames matches Rhea and Io have been in? Have they been in all of them? I know Io has, but
working on that.
I mean, Io. Listen, I'd say this. I am excited for whatever spot we get for Io, because this is the Kofi spot at Rumble and the Naomi spot at Rumble. This is it. This is her. We say it's Becky's. I think this is Io's match.
It is what for all the trash cans on the top of the cage or the moonsaults on top of the cage. It's always going to be Io.
AJ in a trash can. AJ in a trash can. We getting that. Like she's gonna say no, I got it, and then AJ's gonna put the trash can on and be like, and then jump off. I think it's AJ's time. But to that point, I hear you about. I think one, if we don't get some sort of date meets a riot storm capital S sort of thing from Becky, then we are sleeping with money. Like we're sleeping on money right now. That is. It's prime for the taking. I need her to have a legion of dedicated cult following people to be the Becky believers, as she's been called.
You're using a much better name than I would have used for Becky's group.
Yes. So I need her to I need her to go heavy on it. I need her to have Becky believer hats in like orange or like red, whatever color her hair is. I need her to have them like storm something, maybe storm Adam Pearce's office and name it the date on it and call it like, Revelation Day or something. I don't know, something like that. It'll be great. I need all of that, and I need it all after Survivor Series. But to that point in Survivor Series, I think this is Lash Legend's time to shine, because everyone at opposite that she's working with, on from the Ios to the AJs to the Alexas to the Charlottes and to the Rheas, they're going to make her look like $1 million. And I think this is her. I think this is her match. At the end of the day, we're gonna walk and be like, "Yep, she's it." Like
to quote
exactly what we thought she was.
To quote one Cam Hawkins, aka Seahawk, all caps, Lash Legend.
So real quick,
dude, we talked about the fact that I don't know. I didn't know if I was believing that the Lash Legend that they put out to us in the beginning was going to be a long-term workout, but to see her evolution from where she started to Metaphor and all the different things that we've seen through her, and you talk about like putting her out there in the forefront on the main event stage finally, and her in-ring work has gotten so good. She's worked in NXT. She did stuff with Trick Williams, and You've just seen her evolution as an in-ring performer and as a character. And to bring her in, to your point, Neeson, in this spot with, like we said, all of these world champions, people who have been in this match, who know how to tell a story in this match, because I can make the argument a number of years since they've had men and women that the women's match has outshined the men's more often than the men's has outshined the women. And the women in this match are going to make her look amazing. And I can't wait to see how she comes out of this. I think that I just don't want her to take the pin because I think the faces will win this match. But I think you're right, man. I think she's going to be the one. Her and Io, because Io always is, are going to be the two people we come out of this match talking about big time.
Of the 7 women's matches,
Becky. If anybody takes a pin, it's Becky.
Yeah,
It should
so
be.
I said that on the show. I think Becky's taking the pin, and she's going to blame she's going to basically blame everybody else and take orders, and it kind of started the seeds last night on Raw.
Spiral.
I put this team together. I saved your life.
Yep.
You broke my nose, but that's okay. I think Becky's taking the pin in this match. To your point, Neeson, all Lash Legend needs to do is pick up Alexa Bliss and throw her across the ring.
That spot's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Ritz, you said you confirmed that Io and Rhea have been in all 7?
No, so Rhea's been in 5 of 7.
Okay.
Io's been in all 7.
Okay. And I think the only person second to that would be Candice.
I'm not counting again. I'm sorry.
No, all good. But I'm pretty sure that I feel like Candice has probably also 5 or 6, but
no, because once it gets to the main roster, Candice touches it once.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's probably a 4, I would think.
Yeah.
She did. I'm pretty sure she did all NXT, so probably only one on the main roster.
She missed one in NXT as well. She missed the Toxic Attraction year.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a time.
But no, this starts her spiral, and we've been seeing the little shades of it when it comes to Becky, and she's gonna have a mental and psychotic break. But I think and he's saying Becky will go into a Seth tailspin like Seth did. I think she goes further. She truly has. They take the Seth tailspin, you combine it with this failed attempt of a Bayley identity crisis, and you have the two mesh, and it's almost like just put the girl in Arkham Asylum and let's move on kind of deal. And that she's going to be that unhinged moving forward.
I'm all here for the meltdown.
She's all setting up for it already on social media. Like she's tweeting like every 15 to 20 minutes on like multiple platforms.
I love the screenshots of her calling Adam Pearce. It's like miss call.
Yeah.
You have to. I think we never. I've always wanted to see. I call it the Mad King. Like with Roman, I wanted to see him lose the first time because I wanted to see him go completely insane and like work his way up. Like he loses everything and has to work his way back. And I think we never seen that. The minute he lost and in Philly, he just went away and then he came back. It's just I'm Roman and that was it, right? Like I want to see. But with Becky, I want to see her spiral, but I want to see her spiral and win, and not even trying to like point it out. But if we are mapping the trajectory of what Trump is, like you said, feel a way about him, like it or not, you map that to perfection because that is some great storytelling. Like it will make you feel a way, one way or another, and you map it exactly how it is. So you map it back to where she spirals into success, like spiral into success, and then go even crazier and become a king with power that's uncontrolled. Like have that, like have a person have a champion that acts like that, and then you really have an underdog that's coming from the bottom and has to take her spot.
She can even build a kind of mini stable and you've got plenty of NXT talent. Thea Hale would be awesome.
Tatum,
you bring her up and put her with Becky. We've seen it with Hendry. I mean, I think there's plenty of NXT talent that you can bring up and she can build that group and Build them in the
What the-
stars too.
That's what I'm saying. Map whatever they were called, the Qui-Gon. I don't know the names of them, but the QAnon. Yeah, map them. Just literally map. You map. You map. It's written for you. It's right there.
Beanon?
So
Beckonon.
the what?
Beanon or Beckonon?
Yeah, back.
What the hell is
I'm telling
happening? I zoned out for like 30 seconds.
all you have to do is have them storm Adam Pearce's building and say that that was their
Or even
that
WWE
elucidate.
headquarters.
Well, see, I wouldn't do. Yeah, that I would just storm the building because you keep it you keep it contained and sell hats. Like that's it. Like Becky will make so much money, and that's the part. And I felt like wrestling has gone away from imitating what's going on in real life because it's so hard, because real life is so depressing at times for so many people. So it's kind of hard to be able to mimic that. But I think they found the perfect character in the perfect time in a perfect moment to do that full throttle and actually succeed with it. So I really hope they do, because I would die laughing and and forget. But
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a very exciting match. I think a lot of people are going to come out of this one for the better, for sure. Looking at the women's title match coming up, I don't know how excited everybody is for this one. I know Neeson is very excited.
I mean, Nisa and I are going to be excited for the same reasons. Not
I
for
think
the
we're
match.
all going to be excited for the same reasons.
So Stephanie Vaquer defending her women's world championship against Nikki Bella. And listen, I think this is a good spot for Nikki Bella in terms of, we had the conversation earlier of, is Nikki... I thought Nikki was doing really good work before her last run ended. I thought her in-ring was so much improved over the years. And it feels like she's come back now after experiencing a lot of personal issues and kind of tried to come back and find herself again. And I think that there is a hesitancy, and I think there's a few glimmers of doubt there that have affected what we've seen on this screen. But I believe letting her turn heel, and I think it's a little easier for her at this point to work back by doing it from a heel's perspective and working with Stephanie, who's, in my opinion, the best women's wrestler maybe out there when they talk about the in-ring product. I think it's a really good spot. I think it's a good spot for Nikki, and we're talking star power on this show again, guys. It's an ESPN show. Star power. At the end of the day, Nikki Bella's name has a lot of stock behind it.
Mm-hmm. And I think you're right there though. Like Nikki's best work has always been as a heel, and while it wasn't horrible what she was doing leading up to it, all of us have sat there and said Nikki's turning. Right, this all made sense for Nikki turn. Yes, it was a day, so everybody's getting a piece tonight. and so with Nikki and her turning heel, it made sense here. I will say our live reaction chat is probably going to be a problem, like it was a few years ago for this match. I'm just going to put that out there. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I don't know if Nikki takes the win here, though. I don't think this is the right time to take it off of Stephanie Vaquer. They booked her wonderfully and properly, with the exception of when Nikki beat her up on the ramp and Stephanie was just kind of staring at her, like, get up and hit her.
1000%. I thought that was so poorly done.
That was the worst part of this whole story.
And then they come back Monday with just a promo from Stephanie. I think it makes Stephanie look silly. And I've criticized the way that they've booked women's champions recently. I mean, we saw it with Tiffany Stratton, where she cut the balloon deflated, and people were ready for her to lose the title. And I'm not saying that we're there yet, not even close, but I think it's going to be very important for her next challenger to be somebody who has actually earned an opportunity to be the number one contender and not just put in the match because she turned on her?
Well, I think she loses, and I think she loses for the simple fact of it was
Wait,
a
who
slow
loses?
burn. With
You think Stephanie loses?
I think Stephanie loses.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, you
Okay.
said she. That didn't really
I
clear
know
things
she.
up.
Yeah. Who's she, pal? Stephanie Vaquer loses because it won't hurt her if she does lose. I think they built equity enough with her that she's gonna come out. She's gonna get a react with Stephanie. She's gonna come out. She's gonna get a reaction. And we're, like we said, we're moving into Mania season. This could be a Royal Rumble win to get her back. This could be a Royal Rumble last four, to be able just to have that moment and then go into Survivor Series into something. I think she's a top woman star that could be moved around during this time to be able to create something. And also, I just think that if Nikki signed a multi-year deal and it's been a very slow burn here, and this is the heating up factor, she can't lose this. Like, because where do you go from this? Like, there's no other parts involved in this. Like, everything is it's just them two. You know, there's no friends, there's no circles here, there's no gangs here. There's just them two. So I would be concerned, where does Nikki go if she loses? Like, she has nowhere to. Does she just say forget it and go to Jade and get demolished by Jade? And even to Stephanie's point, the Stephanie Tiffany time of it all, I think it wasn't that they allowed it to fizzle out. In a sense, it was they wanted to make Jade, and I think the only way for Jade to take that next step was beating Tiffany. Like, beating a person that held the title since, before WrestleMania, that went in and went out and beat Charlotte Flair, that going down the line, had title defense all across the country. And then now Jade could not only say she conquered that, but she could say she dominantly conquered her, and she could continue that streak. I think people would have been fine if Tiffany would have kept it, and she still would have came out and did the Tiffany time thing, and her, I think people wouldn't have got that tired. But I do think it was time to make Jade, and so it was strategically done to be.
I think Tiffany was tired. I think people were extremely tired of Tiffany. Like, no crowd reaction at all. She's a natural heel. Tiffany as a babyface is horrible. Her promo work stinks.
Well, so I felt that with Tiffany, and maybe we were starting to get to that time. And listen, she worked a rigorous schedule too as a champion. I felt like the in-ring was starting to go backwards, and maybe it could be a fatigue. I don't know. And maybe it was too much of Tiffy time, so to speak. But I too felt like by the end of this, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to end, and I would almost rather her go away for 3 months and come back as a heel again, but not like the Nia Jax lackey. I want her to come back. I want the NXT heel that we had.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think Tiffany is a great talent, and I don't want to sound like I'm pooping on Tiffany, but I think the NXT of Tiffany isn't what people thought. Like, I think people look back at it with rose-colored glasses, but I was at that Becky Lynch Tiffany at Bakersfield match, whatever it was called, but the street fight match. And everybody's like, oh my God, Tiffany. But you could see it in her eyes that Becky was pulling her along the whole entire time. And you start to see that a few times. I was like, maybe she was tired. It was kind of regressing. But it was that the title probably got heavy. Like, she's at every show. She's has to do her travel. She has, like, the title probably, got heavy. But I don't think that she had so much equity within the crowd. I think, yes, you shouldn't have had her talking that much. Absolutely not. Don't we should not be seeing Tiffany start up SmackDown and cutting 7-minute promos. Like, she needs to say, it's Tiffy time. Get your ass out here and let's fight. That's what we need to see Tiffy doing.
I think Tiffany was ready, but she wasn't ready for a long run. I think they tried to milk this cow a lot longer than it needed to be, and it should have ended. When did she win it? Right before WrestleMania?
She cashed in January?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I probably would have ended this around Money in the Bank. To have it go as long as it did was unnecessary.
But I think they're trying to wait for, I think the Naomi of it all, the Jade not being ready, and then the Bianca getting injured at WrestleMania, that put.
I'll give you the Bianca. I won't give you the either two. I don't think they played a role in it. I think Bianca getting hurt played a role in her having a long run.
Only reason I say Bianca is because I think the whole goal was for them to have a match for the title, to have a 3-match for the title. So I think the title was going to revolve around those three in whatever way until Bianca got injured. Once Bianca got injured, you're stuck in a rut, like
the time to pull that ripcord for the triple threat match between.
We did have that conversation last
yes,
time.
we
I was
did.
On here. And I told you it was gonna go to. I said it was gonna go past Mania, and what happened? It went past Mania, but it people got pregnant and a finger broke, and here we are.
But I said it then. I'll say it now. The time for that match was WrestleMania. You try to recapture the Bianca Jade now, I don't think you're going to have it as well. At least for me, right? I wasn't.
I think so. If Bianca wins the Rumble,
I think that's the plan.
I think if Bianca wins, I thought you were talking about like right now, like.
Well, I mean now we can't, because like I said, I think getting blessings, getting pregnant, and then Bianca also being out during that time, it was just left with Jade being alone. So that story, you couldn't even pull the trigger if you wanted to pull the trigger. And so that's why I think they were very okay, well, look, if we pull the trigger on Jade and we build Jade in a Brock Lesnar and a, Goldberg and just a beast way and have her squash as many people as possible until we get to Mania, in a sense. But we have Bianca win Rumble. And we have Bianca versus Jade, and that's what we're building, because now you could build off a sisterhood, a former sisterhood. You could build off what happened after. You could build off Jade or Bianca being gone and Jade being the one to carry the brand for this long. And where were you? You have so much story going into Mania with that yeah, we probably couldn't get Naomi involved in it, which that was the end goal, but now it pays off even bigger because you have a WrestleMania match that has a 2-year build to it, right? It's
I hear you. I didn't say you're wrong.
I just remember now this kind of stuff. I remember this, and they
we had a whole big
it
Jade
worked.
Bianca Naomi conversation.
Oh yeah, it was a thing.
That was like a 30-minute segment. It was good stuff though, and you were right. I was with you on most of that, so I'm on the Neeson bandwagon with that one. Liv could win the Rumble too. There's a lot of conversation around Liv in the chat.
So let me ask that question though: is she a factor? Because we've had a lot of returns at Survivor Series lately. We know that there's video that has surfaced with Liv kind of getting back in the ring. Do we see her make an appearance Saturday night?
I don't even know if the question may be, which match does she get involved in? Does she get involved in Dom and John Cena in a way? And maybe that's the way out for Cena to retain, if that's the plan.
Yeah, and also Liv was spotted doing the women's version of the WrestleMania promos, so she's on her way back sooner more than later.
I think that's gonna. if she comes back, it has to be something. It has to be something dealing with the Judgment Day. So it has to be something with Roxanne, and it has to be something with
Raquel.
oh God, Raquel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have to be if they're involved in something. Well, oh yeah, perfect. She has a title match on Monday against. Or no, they talk about titles on Monday that he said like about Stephanie Vaquer, etc., etc. It was supposed to be Liv versus Nikki Bella. Remember, essentially, that's what they're going for.
Mhm.
So if that's what they're aiming to kind of get back to, then yeah, I think it's Liv comes back. They have to address the Judgment Day of it all, and then maybe we work towards Nikki in whatever way that is.
Yeah, they planted the seeds because they had that one promo where Liv's pictures in the background, with Judgment in the Judgment Day area.
Clubhouse.
So
The clubhouse, yeah.
Yeah, clubhouse, yeah. I think there's definitely options there, but I'm sure she's going to get cheered coming back. So that's another factor too. Do they automatically turn her face, or do they kind of tease it to where she's back with Judgment Day and there's kind of that friction because her and Roxanne or her and Raquel were tight, and that whole that factor as well. I'm sure there's a lot of options, which is a good thing.
What if she comes out when like Kyrie's about to enter the WarGames match? Liv attacks her because it was during that match with Kyrie where she dislocated her shoulder.
Good call. Good call.
So what are you?
She comes back as a face because at this point Kyrie's the heel.
But then what are you doing with Judgment Day? Like, I don't think Liv. They have to address the Finn Balor scheming. Like it's a lot of things that they purposely put in, not like they.
A lot of
like
layers.
Alluded to. They heavy alluded to. You know, so it's kind of you can't have her come back being a straight baby face, and you have this inner working in your bad guy stable that has to be addressed. You know, like unless it's just I just wanted to beat her up because she injured me. Now back to you. You know, like
I think they all come out to hold her back, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then they address it on Raw on Monday.
Or you could have her attack Kyrie and then have her attack someone on the face team, and then you're kind of questioning. Where's she at? Where's she aligned?
That's a Butters line if I've ever heard one.
What?
Have her attack somebody. Have my co-host. His name is Butters, and he says really dumb shit. And so having her attack somebody on either side, that's really, really dumb, right? I think having her, as much as I posed the question, and somebody brought it up, Roxanne and Maxine Dupree. There's that interaction they had Monday night that is leading towards something. Maxine said she was going to call Natalya. What's to say Natalya didn't answer the phone? What's to say that that's not Liv that comes back and helps forward this all? And that's how we get her intertwined. Because the Judgment Day have nothing. They other than the scheming, which on the Finn Balor side, they have no title for her to go after. They have no prize for her to go after, right? As far as Raquel and Roxanne go, the story's not around that. She had a legitimate injury that she suffered in a match with Kyrie. If you're going to do it, she's going to come back after Kyrie. But in reality, she's going to come back to defend against the Judgment Day because they all kind of brushed her aside when she got injured.
Listen, I would make the argument that we're approaching the demise of the Judgment Day simply because, I mean, honestly, I just think the characters, the talent has outgrown it, right? I think Dom, we've already seen that dissension there. I don't know necessarily where Finn goes, but we had this entire conversation last week regarding JD McDonough, who I thought looked like an all-star. And I feel like we're starting to see him be put into these big matches obviously on television. He had the match with Ray this week, and they are really emphasizing what a workhorse he is. It's the Chad Gable effect, right? He went years where he was kind of an unsung hero, and people are starting to notice. And we had a whole conversation, was John Cena's final appearance wasted at Madison Square Garden by having a 6-man tag? And I didn't feel so at all. Yeah, if anything, it created an opportunity for a JD McDonough to work in Madison Square Garden with John Cena in his final match there, and he looked awesome. And I think it's one of those things that we're going to see little by little, that he starts rewarded. So at what point, because I feel like we're getting there, does he outgrow being Finn's tag team partner? And they're clearly now over the assisting Dom to hold on to his title, let him do it himself. So you really could have Liv come back in with no intention of sticking with the Judgment Day or reclaiming her spot. But to Neeson's point, he's talking layers and layers and layers. You could have her be the one who peels the onion layers back until we get to the core of the breakup of the Judgment Day. She could be the one who lights the match that burns the whole thing down.
She could join in and then betray from within, so to speak, just one by one.
Yeah, it's an I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can do it. You're 100% right.
I'm sorry.
I
got to a point
you got
where
an opinion about my stuff.
I just heard a tone.
Yeah, there's a lot
about all I heard.
I just think there's a really good opportunity here that we can move on and get past the judge. I just don't see where the Judgment Day is really fitting anymore in a long term.
So, Chrome, as you know, because you and I talked about it in preparation, I streamed yesterday on Twitch some Raw reactions, and during the JD McDonough match with Ray, I made a lot of comments about McDonough and how he's absolutely positioning himself to be like that top mid-card guy. I don't know if we ever see him in like a world title picture per se, but he's very much a top mid-card guy. And I think Balor is on his way out as well. Like, we know AJ's announced his retirement and it's going to be this big thing. I suspect Balor is going to fade away to black very, very soon as well. And to separate them now, because I mean, Dominic didn't even stay at ringside. And I know there's all that dissension that that's another layer to it. He didn't stay at ringside last night. They came out after his bit, right? And then he went back and did whatever he did for the rest of the evening. So you have to move along the Judgment Day storyline, and the movement there. The next chapter is the separation of them all.
Yeah, I would agree. We kind of got on this whole conversation because somebody mentioned the John Cena and Dom matches as a way that maybe she gets involved in that. So let's move on to that. Hey, do we think that this main event's this? Probably not, right?
No.
I think you sandwich this between the two WarGames matches.
Yeah, I imagine it would probably be second on the card because I imagine.
God.
Or I'm sorry. I imagine they're going to start with the ladies, probably go Cena Dom, then go to the ladies after that, and then get to the men's WarGames match.
Yeah.
John Cena's final PLE appearance here, final ESPN appearance. Not that he's had very many, but we get our rematch. Neeson, I liked your idea of. Listen, I don't hate that this match is happening, but I would not have minded if they would have went with Ray and Dom here for the AAA title. I think that's an interesting idea to add more stock into that, since it is being featured so much on their primary television. But we get John Cena's final PLE match here against Dom in Dom's hometown. Is Dom getting cheered in this? Because that's going to be an interesting aspect. Do both guys get cheered? Does Dom get booed at home? How does this? How does this?
At home.
He's gonna eventually get booed. Eventually, at some point. But I mean, you have Dirty Dom chants, happening in every arena, no matter what. But yeah, it's Cena.
If anybody can create heat, it's Dom, whether it's his hometown or not.
Well, and I think it's almost like the fun stuff, right? We everybody yeets when Jey Uso comes out, whether you like the guy or not. Everybody does the whoa when Cody comes out, right? Whether you like the guy or not. One more time. Thank you. Right? So I think booing Dominic Mysterio has become one of those crowd tropes that you're gonna do it whether he's in San Diego or he's in Houston or Philly or Bismarck, North Dakota. What'd you say?
I said, or he has a clitoris on his neck, whatever.
Yeah. True.
Also, yes, right? I think at some point he does get booed here. And I'll just go ahead and say it right now. I do think, though, that somehow, some way, I almost want to see him win here. Because I've said it since the start of the tournament. I don't really know if I want the title to be the prize here. I like the fact of just wrestling John Cena in a straight up one-on-one match. Very reminiscent of his first match with Kurt Angle. I don't think the title's necessary here. You did this so that he can go out as a Grand Slam champion.
Thank you, Animal. Appreciate everybody commenting in, by the way. Keep them coming. It's been fire and hot. It's been fire and hot on both shows tonight. I you know what? Earlier I had said I felt that Cena was going to win this match and end up retiring with the title, but I might be swaying at this point. And I think what you said, Andy, was kind of the cap for me. The reason I found this whole last time is now tournament to be a good idea and a fascinating idea was we've never seen anything like it. We talked to Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow, a few weeks ago, and we talked about this tournament, and he had agreed that there's never been anything like that, and to where the prize isn't a WrestleMania main event, the prize isn't a championship. It's literally just to have a match with a guy, and I mean he's bigger than just a guy, but again, like it's to have this iconic moment, the chance to do something that only one person ever gets to do. Ever.
So the prize isn't a WrestleMania main event; it's a Saturday night's main event.
It is a Saturday night's main
How
event.
long you been holding on to that one?
Since he said it, basically.
But you think about it. So you're right, because if he does take that Intercontinental title and that becomes part of it, I do feel like it takes a little bit of that specialness off of the top of it.
Right.
Anybody else?
That's what I said earlier on our show. I thought just because the title, I agree for once with Andy.
Well, you're not as dumb as I thought you were.
You'd be surprised.
We'll find out Saturday. 4 hours. The procedure of the tournament is the honor.
Cage my IQ. Yeah, the procedure of the tournament is in honor of having seen his last match on your. I agree. I think it's very different.
Austin Theory has a match on his resume for it, So
yeah, remember that?
Remember him?
Yeah.
That's a guy, man. I really, I hope that when he comes back, we're getting like to me, he should be a Paul Heyman guy. I don't need him to talk. I feel terrible in the fact that he got the Drew McIntyre initial kind of black mark against him, the red A on his chest, because Vince signed off on it, and the way that it was presented as Vince's guy, and they went right down the same path that they did that screwed Drew, and I thought he never had a shot. Now, this break that he's been gone from, and I do think that there was a little bit of momentum starting to go his way when they ended up, before he got hurt, right, pulling him and Waller away from each other. I would love to see him come back with like a Paul Heyman. Like, he would be a guy that would fit the vision in terms of three young studs. And I'm not saying he definitely needs that, but I do think that would be a good spot for him to work with Paul Heyman.
I agree. And when I thought that was who was going to kind of filled these shoes, I didn't think we were going to get Logan Paul. I really saw this as an opportunity to throw Austin Theory in here. I don't know if I agreed with it at the time, but I saw it because you needed that. You needed that young blood, but still that's kind of been around and has done some really high profile stuff. And that really rounded out the vision. Plus, just his attitude and the way he carries himself as a bad guy truly fits that Paul Heyman character. He doesn't need to be around every week for people to hate him. Paul can come in and do the work that he needs to do and put the people over that he needs to put over. And then Austin comes in and has the match.
I think, like Logan or not, the star power's there much more than Austin Theory. And I think that's where I'm hoping he leaves this.
That's great.
It'll be
That's
like the Academy, what was that? The Academy Awards where he came out naked.
Nate, great comment, Nate. That was a great drop in.
That was good. No,
yeah, I agree. I mean,
yeah.
Logan Paul's a superstar, and I remember, and we talked about this, I think, before, but he gave an interview. He was on the Pat McAfee show after WrestleMania 40, and like it's an act, it's a persona, because he kind of broke the fourth wall of kind of more of the core of who he really is. And he honestly talked about what a superstar it was to be, or what an honor it was to be a WWE superstar, and the responsibility he felt with kids and different things. And it was amazing. And listen, we got a quick drop in here, boys. We got the Godfather of A2D Radio. What's up, brother? This is for our viewers out there. This is one of the founding fathers with me. This is Billy Thrasher.
Still got my coffee. Man? Some things don't change.
Got coffee. This is great, by the way. We got Texas, California, Jersey, PA, and Toronto up here.
Toronto?
Calgary now. Calgary.
I've been in Calgary the entire time I've known you.
Yeah, whatever.
See how he pays attention?
Yeah. Listen, I've been
this
doing.
Guy's been blowing up my phone like a high school girl all week. So I was like, all right, I'm going to drop in here. You guys are doing a great job. Just wanted to pop the chat. So it was, it's been awesome. And Chrome was telling me it's close to 10 years now that we started this thing. You've taken the ball, kept it running. Also, mind blown. My son at the time was 1.
Yeah.
God, you're old.
And now he's like a full-on athlete doing great things.
We got a full 11-year-old.
It's cool, man. It's great.
Yeah, man.
Hey, there he is. What's up, Bray?
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
He actually, it's funny. He actually got me back into wrestling because, like when we started doing the show, sometimes it felt like it was a chore, right? And then when he started getting into it, it was like the excitement. It's just a different level, right? So it's good. It's good to watch, right, buddy?
He's named after us. Yeah.
He is. He's named after Bray Wyatt. So there you go.
That is correct.
Yeah, man. No, I'm glad you could hop on and pop on with us, buddy.
Yeah, man.
It's exciting to see you back on, and we're hoping that maybe this is not the last time we see you back on with us.
I have been talking to one other person who shall not be named, but yeah, we're hoping we can cook up something. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, listen, we love to have you back in the family, and for anybody else out there, this guy, he's an interesting guy when he gets on there too. He's got some very strong opinions that you'll love to watch. So stay tuned for future shows with the Godfather himself we have the Godfather of A2D and Tom Arnone, and Billy is the Godfather of Lazy Booking. So
great show, gentlemen. Keep it up. I will let you get back to it.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you popping in, and
Thanks,
we're gonna see you sooner than later, brother. Love you, pal.
That's true. Love you guys. See ya.
See ya. Sorry, guys. I knew we were getting a quick drop. That's half the time. When I kept looking down at my phone, that's why he was telling me he was going to pop in. So I was trying to find out when that was going to happen. Love to have him on. So I hate to break the momentum, but this is our first kind of show off of the A2D channel since me and him were doing shows. So he had a few minutes, wanted to pop in. I want to give him an opportunity to say hi to the audience that he hasn't talked to in a long time. So yeah. So I think at this point, let's take a quick 2-second break. Who's going to stay on for the draft? I know, Neeson, you got to hop off soon, right?
Yes.
So if you want to pop off now, you can. Jim, you staying on for the draft?
I'm hopefully. Let's see how this goes, and if my drafting cannot continue, then I will just forfeit my selections.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. We're gonna take a quick break. It's gonna literally be 2 minutes, so 2 seconds. So you guys are gonna probably hop off, or Nisa is gonna hop off by the time we get back on the other side. So Nisa, I appreciate you coming on. We had a great conversation
thank
with
you so
buddy.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you, Nisa.
We look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon,
Come back
buddy. It was
very
awesome.
soon.
And to reference Neeson's hat, I'll see you at Disneyland on Sunday, buddy.
I know, right?
I'm jealous. We got to get you back. Listen, brother, real quick before you hop off. We've been saying it for a while.
What's up?
2026 comes around, and I got PTO back in my bank. We're gonna make this East Coast meetup happen, brother.
Oh well, I'm in Philly actually in December, and then I'm in Orlando. Well, I'm in Orlando December too, but next year, August, Orlando. I haven't put out the text yet, but it will be out January to tell everybody.
Send me your December dates and let me know about 2026, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll catch up with you soon, brother. Thanks again.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Guys,
pal.
Thank you for having me.
See you later, brother. All right. Yeah, so again, couple quick things. That's kind of what our break is. We're going to show a few little points here. We'll be back on the other side after this. That's right, guys. As you see on there, we're going to do a couple little shows here and there, but starting in January 2026, we're going to get the ball rolling on having consistently more shows on our channel exclusive from A2D. But again, make sure you guys check us out every Tuesday night on A2D Radio for our flagship show, Lazy Booking Podcast. And with that, just a reminder, upcoming, we got Vince Russo joining us as a 2-week co-host. December 9th, December 16th. We're going to talk all things booking for the John Cena farewell tour. And last time is now tournament. We're going to talk about, obviously, his final match. And we're going to talk about a few other things with him. So we're excited. He's excited to join us. That is going to be unpredictable, to say the least. Also coming up. Yeah, you ain't kidding. This Monday, our old pal, the Blue Meanie, is going to be coming back on and doing a little bit of Eagles talk. We're going to change the mood. This will also be on A2D Radio, and then it'll post on our page either same day or next day. But if you want to catch us live, go to A2D Radio's social media pages. Like, subscribe, follow. Do the same for us here. And by the way, speaking of Meanie, make sure you guys check out the Mind of Meanie podcast. I believe it drops on Mondays, but don't quote me on that. Let's do his podcast. I'll tell you the day that they drop. He was just on the Mike show on Fox 29, which was, I don't know if anybody caught that. Very, very good. If not, I'll send you guys the link. You guys are out of town. Yeah. Well, he posted it on his social media page.
Oh, did he?
But it was good. It was entertaining. It's Mike Jarek. If you guys remember him from Fox 29, he's a character, and he's got a late night show now. So
yeah, he's on in the mornings during the week on Fox 29.
Got it.
Yeah, he's funny.
Here's an interesting question before we jump over to that draft real quick. And I don't think so, but does anybody think that we get a poem in here? I'd be shocked, right?
I if anything, I could see them turning on him.
Yeah, that unless maybe if you're turning, which I don't think they are, turning Roman heel for the WrestleMania season to challenge one of those two guys, but I don't think you need that.
No, Roman has transcended.
Yeah,
and you still need Heyman to talk for Braun because,
ladies and gentlemen,
Braun can do all the physical stuff, but I feel like he's still worlds away with doing any promo work.
Oh God, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap up the show here by doing our Survivor Series fantasy draft. Shouldn't take long because there's only 5 guys a piece and there's only 4 of us. So we're going to each pick a team based on decade, and we're going to see who the people out there think is the ultimate surviving team. So what we're going to do is we're not going to do snake or anything like that. I'm going to let Jim have first pick in the first round. And if you get first pick in a round, you move to second pick, or you move to last pick the next round, and we just move up the order. So
are we, forgive me, but are we doing it like one person from each decade, basically, kind of thing? Or
yeah, and I'm not even gonna specify. Here's the rules. I'm not gonna make you pick, okay, this round we're doing 90s. You could pick any person at any decade.
Okay.
Now if somebody takes Hogan, I don't care if they say I'm taking him in the 80s, you can't take him in the 90s. Has to be different names.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with someone no one else would probably take, and I'll give my reasoning behind it, because this is a mock draft and whatever. I'm going to go with Rick the Model Martel.
Oh,
damn you!
What people
Eric
may
is
not
somebody who might have gone for the model.
listen.
Practice.
Pulling Survivor Series trivia. Rick Martel led the very first Survivor Series team where when the entire team won.
Was that the Visionaries?
It was the Visionaries. That'd be Rick Martel,
That's amazing.
the Warlord, and Power and Glory. So that team went on to go on to the Ultimate Survivor match at the end of that Survivor Series. So I'm going with Rick the Model Martel.
Is that
more recently
your 1980s pick?
That is I believe it's 90s, isn't it?
I think it maybe
it's the
89,
90s.
maybe 89 or 90.
I'm gonna. I believe.
I think it's 90.
I think the one he's talking about, he's referencing is 1990.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he will be
we'll
my
go with
1990s pick,
1990s pick.
and
Yep.
I'm totally fine with that. And yeah, Rick Martel.
That's a good one. That's one of my favorite impressions that Eric does. Practice. I heard that the Tonka was outside scalping
Tickets.
It's so good. We haven't even gotten
the mundane accelerated into the fast lane with arrogance.
Arrogance. We haven't even dived in yet on our show, by the way, with Eric's impressions. I can't wait till we get more of that.
Oh,
He's tremendous. But all right, Jimmy's got Rick the Model Martel. I like it. Andy, we're going to let you go next.
I got to do it. I'm going to take the Undertaker.
It's a good one.
I
use him as
mean,
my 90s pick.
That's it. That's the iconic time. That's a great pick. Andy goes Undertaker in 1990s. And that's self-explanatory. Eric?
I'm going to have to go with 1987. Andre the Giant.
Damn it. That was my next pick.
Good call. Good call.
I'm going to go with one here. A lot of people think that I would go one way, but I'm going to go another. That's obvious, but I'm going to go 1980s Macho Man Randy Savage.
Damn it!
It's a great one.
I mean, to me, Savage is probably, I think he's a top 5 all-timer, hands down. And those late 80s, early 90s runs for him were some of the best stuff we've ever. I mean, it set the stage for an entire generation of Bret Harts and Shawn Michaels. So yeah, I'm gonna go 1980s Macho Man Randy Savage.
Very nice, very nice.
So Andy, you're gonna get first pick in this one.
For the 80s, I'm gonna take Haku.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I mean, it's Haku. Haku,
Yeah.
Undertaker. I got a thing going here.
That's true. So that's your 1980s.
Yeah.
And then Eric, you're gonna go next.
Well, I've got size already. I'm gonna do more size.
Oh,
1993, Yokozuna.
oh.
Good call.
We got Andre. We got
That's before
Yoko.
that was prime Yokozuna.
You just gonna pick a wall of meat here? That's what's about to happen. He's gonna call his team the Meat Locker.
The Meat Locker. Oh my god. I mean, I'm gonna do it because it's got to be done. I'm gonna go Hogan, 1990s.
I felt it was way too obvious.
I mean, for obvious reasons, you're right. There's nothing to be said. I mean, but you know, he was early. I mean, they did so much with him. I mean, they basically set the stage, started there with Hogan and Warrior teaming up together, and then obviously having the dissension in the Royal Rumble. Again, we talk about kicking off storylines, right? That kicked off your WrestleMania 6 program. Jimmy V, you got next, brother.
I'm diving into the 80s for this one, but my next pick is Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
It's another good one. I thought about taking Mr. Perfect. You're definitely building that like strong mid-card team. I mean, although Hennig, he's arguably a guy who probably should have got a main event title, but never really did, at least in the WWE. But that's a good one. Jim's got 1980s Mr. Perfect. Eric, you get to lead this round.
Wait, I got one. I gotta go still.
Yeah, you've only selected one, right?
I've done two.
Okay, yeah, I got two.
No, we all have two, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have two. You led the last round.
I started this round. I'm sorry.
Jesus
I'm sorry.
God.
Not the sports guy. Bite me.
All right,
Eric. Eric, you need a 2000s, 10s, and 20s. Well, that's what we all need.
I'm gonna go 2000. So we're doing thousands, tens, and 20s.
Yep.
Yeah.
2001. I'm gonna take Kane.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they're
getting taller and damn taller.
Arch is building a butcher shop.
He is.
Meat Locker.
That's a big one. 2000s, I'm going to go to a guy who went away and came back and had an even better run his second time around.
Fuck.
And was the winner of the initial Elimination Chamber match.
Damn it.
I'm going to go HBK, the Heartbreak Kid.
Ah!
Shawn Michaels, baby. For my 2000s pick.
I'm going also 2000s. Your Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle.
So if Eric took Shawn Michaels, that was my next pick. So that's a solid one. It's a solid one. I'm like envisioning these teams, by the way. I'm gonna make a graphic like they did the old school graphics.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna make like an old school Survivor Series like graphic.
If my team doesn't weigh the most, I failed.
Wait, so you're gonna have to come up like I want us to do this like real gimmicky like we used to do.
King Mabel.
Oh, you should. Listen, I want us to do this like they used to do. You need to come up with like and like an old school team name too, like they used to.
Oh, I already
like,
have mine.
Oh, perfect. Give them to me at the end. I don't want it yet. That's a good one though. So wait, who did I miss? I missed Jim. You took. Remind me again. Oh, Kurt Angle. Gotcha.
Angle.
Andy.
For the 2000s, since somebody decided to take my pick, that bastard.
Sure did.
I'm gonna go with the King of Kings, Triple H.
That's a good one.
Nice.
Oddly enough, Survivor Series 06 was my very first pay-per-view that I went to live.
I had been to so many of the big fours, and I never went to a Survivor Series.
I've never gone to a Survivor Series.
I've never gone to a SummerSlam.
I went to the SummerSlam, really. I've been to a few SummerSlams.
In the SummerSlam.
Survivor Series, I went to the one at the Barclays Center a few years ago, where I think it was Big E and I don't even remember who the hell he
That was
faced
the
him.
one I was supposed to go to. We were
Roman and Big E.
We were doing the circuit that year. It started with Survivor Series in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit the Rumble that year, which I think was the Philadelphia Rumble. We hit WrestleMania that year, and we were supposed to do SummerSlam. And then I had this wild idea I was going to buy a house, and then that fizzled out.
Well,
Womp womp.
I went for you. It's okay.
Thanks.
So this one I think is me with the first pick, right? Ooh. I'm gonna go the 2020s.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. I'm just stacking up on main eventers at this point.
Try not to die over there, Arch.
This is great.
Oh
I'm
God,
gonna
I can't wait
go
to see what Eric picks next. Go ahead, Jim.
2020s.
You going 2020s? You can pick either 2010s or 2020s.
I'm going 2020s. The Ring General, Gunther.
That's a good
Ooh. It's a really good one.
Who, by the way, I really hope he does get the opportunities coming out of this, because do you believe that he's going to win this tournament, Jim?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we're all on the same page. I hope that this is going to create the opportunity he deserves, because I think a lot of the issue with him has been the booking that he's had. He hasn't had anybody to go against. I mean, he's had a few people, and every match he's had has been tremendous, but the programs haven't been great. But look at what he did with Goldberg. Made him look unbelievable. I imagine the same will happen with Cena. And then he has that I retire Goldberg, I retire. This might be his new gimmick, as I retire guys. I'm all for it. Good pick, Jim. Gunther. Add him to the list.
Hold on. When was Gunther in a Survivor Series match?
Oh, we're picking people who are actually in Survivor Series matches?
Yeah. I thought he was in a WarGames, but he wasn't in a WarGames.
He might have done a WarGames match in NXT.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But
he has not been a part of it.
So we're kind of limited going into the 2020s then, aren't we?
Correct.
So basically, everyone pick your bloodline member, guys.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm going to have to change it for 2020s and go with... Actually, no, let me jump to the 2010s.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to burst that bubble, but I'm sitting here going, wait a minute.
No, I'd have be reminded of who was in what match, because
he was a Sir... Yeah, no, I don't know if he's ever done... Hold on. All right, so hold on real quickly. It was a 2019 Survivor Series that he was a part of as Walter. It was not a 2020s.
So he is available in the 2010s if you want to take him there.
I'm going to stick with my 2010s as Kevin Owens.
Okay. Good, because I was going to take Kevin Owens if you switched it. He was my next guy on my list. So that's going to go to Andy.
Do I do this now?
I'm very excited to make the graphics of these teams, by the way.
I think I do this now. I think I go 2020s.
2020s.
Is mine going to fit on the graphic?
No, you're going to need your own slide. And I think I'm going to take Cody Rhodes here.
Cody in the 2020s?
Cody in the 2020s. To gamble, because I have like really one option for the 10s, but
all right. So Eric, you got your choice of the 10s or the 20s?
All right, so we're going to go 2010s. And this big fella was in the 2014 match between Team Cena and Team Authority.
Good show.
And he is the world's strongest man.
Oh, I thought it was right. I thought he was going to go right back. I thought he was going to go right back.
No, I wasn't going meat sweats, but we're gonna go Mark Henry.
I love it. Oh, that's not where I thought you were going, but it's perfect.
Where do you think I was going?
I thought you were going Big Show because he was in that match too.
He was, but
Mark Henry started.
I need an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah,
I need an Olympian, not gold medalist.
You have Eric Rowe and Luke Harper, Mark Henry. There's a lot of Ryback, a lot of big dudes.
Mark Henry started that match, and then I think he got knocked out immediately, didn't he? Because if I'm correct, didn't he turn around and Big Show hit him immediately with the punch?
Yeah, that's right.
And he got pinned into like 2 seconds, and you saw Stephanie and Triple H like,
yeah, 50 seconds in, he got eliminated.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Damn.
All right, Jimmy, it's your last pick here, buddy.
Well, this is a tough one because I've got the 2020s.
That's why I went in and did 2020s early.
Yeah, I mean that's a good call.
Anyone in the match this year is on the table.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to go with the guy who was supposed to be in the match this year,
Seth,
and that's Seth.
I'll tell you have quite an athletic group. Love that one. All right. I'll read the teams off after we finish this round. Andy?
So, I'm really... all right, I'm going to do it. For the 2010s, I'm taking Dolph Ziggler.
That's a great one.
I had another option, but I think Ziggler is the better pick as far as Survivor Series matches go.
It's a big moment.
It is.
It really was a big moment for him. Well, that'll lock in that I get my last one I wanted. So, oh my God. If you look at what my team looks like, you're going to know exactly who I'm taking. Eric?
The only big guy in the 2020s probably.
Say
Big Bronson Reed.
I was waiting for it.
Honestly, I thought you were going to take Omos. But he was on a match.
He was in was he in a WarGame? Or he was in a Survivor Series?
He was in a Survivor Series. He wasn't in a
WarGames.
WarGames. Also, but one of the biggest regrets is that when I went to my buddy's wedding, I did get a picture with my girlfriend standing next to Omos.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Although there's a great picture going around of independent wrestlers, Eli Everfly and Delilah Doom. They got a picture with Omos, and they're much smaller. So they're around like my girlfriend's height. So it would have been perfect if I had done it, but I didn't. I'm like, we're at a wedding. I don't want to bother you, man. We could chat, but I don't want to ask for a picture, even though everyone was. But
all right, guys, I have to do it. I basically have every main eventer in the history of professional wrestling. And the fact that we don't have the fact that we don't have John Cena on anybody's team.
He's not big enough.
That was my second choice to Dolph. Had Dolph gone,
Yeah, listen, I gotta go John Cena. Then there's truly a dynamic of every team. We have all the main eventers, we have all the big boys, we have
No.
Andy's is kind of a smorgasbord of guys.
I have a name in mind.
You have a little bit of an element of everything, and then Jimmy's got pretty much all the workers. So we have Jimmy's Survivor Series team, which is you said you have a name already. What is your name?
So I know this is an existing tag team name, but I'm gonna apply it to this group because I think it works perfectly. The Workhorsemen.
The Workhorsemen.
Ooh,
I
like that.
So let me add. I gotta add your name. The Workhorsemen for when we post this up.
And when you post it, please note that I already know it's an existing name and I didn't come up with it.
Yeah, of course. So is it pretty much every name any of them ever came up with all those years?
Yeah, fair enough. But there's still a team using it right now, so
yeah, they'll be all right. Andy, your team of Haku, Undertaker, Triple H, Dolph Ziggler, and Cody Rhodes. Do you have a name already?
I do actually have a name already. It's kind of something that I've been working on over on my Twitch. I'm calling it the Pantry.
The Pantry.
Little bit of everything. A little sprinkle of this, sprinkle of that. You can find whatever you need.
I like it. I like it. Eric, I can't wait to. Do you have a name already? Did you come up with one?
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? Where's the beef, Eric? Survivor Series.
And we're going to come to the pantry and we take it everything.
I love that. Where's the beef?
I love it. It's perfect. Where's the beef? The Survivor Series team, Where's the Beef, consisting of Andre the Giant, Yokozuna, Kane, Mark Henry, and Bronson Reed.
Hold on.
I was going to say, we need the cumulative weight.
Hold on. Read it to people off again.
Wait.
Listen, there's some people hating on not taking Randy Orton.
I almost took Randy.
I had a guilty pleasure that I wanted to take Psycho Sid really bad. But
I didn't even think of him.
Yokozuna, Mark Henry, Bronson Reed, and who's the last one? Kane.
Yeah. It's a lot of beef. Mayor Kane.
Holy crap.
Kane's my
roughly ballpark this, right? 1,700 pounds.
Yes.
Over half of that is Andre and Yokozuna.
Wow.
And guys, my team.
The main event mafia.
People alive.
My team is
main event mafia.
My team is creative control, because I'm sure all of them have had creative control for the most part.
Gee, I wonder where you got that from.
That's an actual. It's an actual thing. You mentioned it the other day. Listen, I'll tell you this though. Our team slogan.
Kevin Nash.
Our team slogan is "That doesn't work for me, brother."
Yes.
So ultimately, we're going to win the tournament because nobody's going to put anybody over.
No one wants to work.
I love it.
Like Chrome.
So creative control consists of the Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, HBK, John Cena, and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, my team is there to make your team look good.
That's right. Somebody's got to be the workhorse and do the job.
My team's just gonna sit on the apron. He's gonna stand on the apron.
Break the apron.
Team hot tag.
They are the apron.
They got to bring in the other ring just for you guys to hang out in.
They're gonna bring the special reinforced ring. So
they're gonna stand on it and it's gonna become the softest part of the ring.
You're gonna see the damn thing buckle. There's indents where everybody.
Don't let Mr. Fuji anywhere near closer to
Oh man. The fact that we don't have Orton. Don't even bring Bret Hart up to me.
No,
don't even bring Bret Hart up to me.
Not fair.
Poke that bear.
Bret Hart doesn't even exist in my world.
I mean, here's the thing: no matter what, there's always going to be someone who's going to be left out.
Of course,
because we're making our own team. So, yeah.
Yes,
That's what's so fun about this.
I
You can
didn't
debate
expect.
them and
Yeah, and I didn't really expect to go all main event, but I figured I saw everybody was doing something different, so I'm like, let me just lock it in with the main eventers and give us a different perspective.
See, I felt that was way and not. This isn't a shot at you, but like as I was building this, I was like, that sounds like a way too easy of a way to do this. Let me try to pull a little bit from everywhere.
Yeah, and that's fair. You took a different approach. Eric went for the guys who were going to break one half of the ring.
I almost think that wasn't intentional.
No,
but at a certain point, he was like, screw it, I'm leaning into this.
And
you
their
start
theme
going
song,
down a road and you keep going.
The theme song for the team should be the creator or the Andre the Giant No Mercy theme song.
Oh god. That's great.
Dynasty, don't poke the bear. It's not the night. I'm in a good mood. Let's not do that.
I love him.
And it's getting late for you guys. I'm good.
Yeah.
This asshole.
The fact that we didn't even discuss the Bret Hart comments this week.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Whatever.
You're better off.
Yeah. Don't. We don't have enough time. This is a 2-hour show now. It'll be here for 6 hours if we let him go.
If I want, okay, yeah. If I want a longer show, I'll be on the show that I'm actually on.
Yeah. Call him.
Which Jimmy's on Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. So make sure you guys look for them, check them out, subscribe to them.
Yeah.
You
can
do
check
a lot
them out on social media at MMM Show 75.
There you go. Love it. Check them out at MMM 75.
Yeah, if you want to go back, check us out on YouTube. Also, we got our more recent interviews with Thunder Rosa, Simon Miller, Eric Van Wagenen, former producer of Lucha Underground, and we're getting more on the way.
Simon Miller is hilarious.
Yeah.
I love when he makes fun of promos. He's like, "You stand back here. You go over there. You just make this weird sound." They're hilarious.
And so you guys, that's where that show kind of started, right? During the Lucha Underground era, and that's kind of where the name came from, right?
all of the main hosts, we all met at Lucha Underground. Or even one of them who literally wakes up at 3 or 4 in the morning in the UK. We've never met him, but he's one of the main hosts on the show as well. Because he's a fan of Lucha Underground.
That's awesome.
There you go. We're on that. That's Billy's done a show with everybody on there, right?
Yeah.
No, this was good. This was fun, guys. And guys, check them out. Their podcast is really, really good. I've watched it. It's very, very entertaining. And they're kind of like us. They do a little bit of everything. They do interviews. They talk about current stuff. They have conversations about topical events. It's really, really enjoyable. And yeah, Jimmy lives the life. So it is hilarious, by the way, that I ran into Jimmy Fisher completely random. And I looked and I was like, it was from behind. I was like, that's Jimmy Fisher.
So for context, Jimmy Fisher is my best friend and he lives out here in LA as well. He went to Epcot with his family, or went to Disney World with his family. The day that he went to Epcot, who else does he run into? Chrome.
Me and Christina. Yeah, it was really crazy.
Who doesn't
very,
go
very
right
random.
in Disney World?
It's the same day I ran into Damian Priest too.
Yeah, I was with Chrome when we were at Disney Springs, and I ran into one of my old coworkers.
That's true. That was random. Yeah, it was good stuff. Lots of good times. And Jim, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
It's fun to do a show with you. You have an open invite anytime you want to come on when we do some of these, especially next year. So our plan for this channel is to come up, do some additional content, right? We do our A2D show. That's our original home, our family. We're sticking with them. We have a couple of our shows. Our Meanie show is going to stay there. This show is going to stay there. The regular Lazy Booking show. But Andy's going to spearhead some of our live reaction stuff. We want to come up with a concept of something around, like always having some kind of a throwback topic, whether it's Eric, and I know Andy, you've talked about this too, doing watch-alongs.
Yep.
Or where you watch like an old pay-per-view and you kind of tell everybody, okay, started at this point. Let's talk about it. We have to do that for WrestleMania 8. It has to be done for WrestleMania 8. Most underrated WrestleMania. That 9 are the most underrated WrestleManias of all time. But we're gonna do a lot of really cool stuff. We're gonna welcome guests like Jim anytime he wants to come on. It's kind of an open floor for some of our colleagues who work on some other stuff. And there may be some other stuff down the pike, but we're gonna grow the content here, and we're gonna give you guys more lazy booking podcast TV. So very excited for that. Don't forget, come back, check us out here with Vince Russo. 2 shows, December 9th, December 16th.
Bro, 2 shows.
Bro. He's the man.
Pambies.
Yeah, he's the man. We're excited. He's got a lot to say. He's been very vocal about this, so we're excited to talk to him. And that's going to be quite a bit. We're also going to sit with our pal, the Blue Meanie, Brian Heffron. He's going to join us to talk Eagles. Miserable loss against Dallas this week. Hopefully they can bounce back. I think it's Chicago coming up Friday for Black Friday. So I'm hoping we have something positive to come back and have a conversation about. And if not, we're going to have a tougher conversation. And make sure you guys find him, find his podcast, Mind of Meanie, anywhere you find your podcasts, and check out his social media pages as well. And a reminder, we're coming on January of 2026 is when we are going to relaunch all this stuff, kind of full throttle. We're going to dabble
92
a little bit.
92 Rumble for sure.
No, 92 Rumble. Listen, first of all, please give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe.
Take the mini picture down.
Do all of that. Well, it's covering your face, pal. So it's
covering all our faces.
It's kind of serving a really great purpose right now.
Covering everybody. Oh yeah, real great purpose.
But yeah, make sure you guys come back and throw suggestions in. Comment on our videos. Comment on our social media posts. If there's topics you want us to cover, whether it's an event or an era or a faction or
whatever
type of wrestler, whatever, we're open to it. We want to have fun with it, and we want to. Hell, I might even open the door that if somebody comes up with something that seems really fun or creative enough, that I might even invite them to join us for that show as a guest co-host. Why not? Let's open the doors. I mean, you can't be like a freak, but we'll see how it goes.
And don't forget, Saturday we will be here for Survivor Series live reactions. It'll be myself. I got a couple people in the pipe. Arch, are you joining us?
I'm 50. I'm probably 75-25 a man, but
screw it. Arch is going to be here with us. I got a couple other surprises that are going to be here on Saturday, covering Survivor Series from bell to bell. Make sure you guys check us out this Saturday for Survivor Series.
And as per the usual, I won't be watching live
ever. Why would he?
Ever. Unless it's WrestleMania, I don't watch live.
It's astonishing how you do a weekly show and very rarely watch the show live.
And nothing ever gets spoiled for me either. Unless somebody's a jackass in a group chat. But most people are pretty considerate and don't.
Or they don't put stuff on mute and you go downstairs and spoil stuff.
God. Velasco, listen to
Never
this.
done that.
Listen to this. They're doing I think they were in the UK?
Yeah, it was an early show. We had Meanie on.
Last time we did our Eagles show with Meanie. It was when the Vision turned on Seth?
Seth. Yeah.
So we start the show a few minutes late. And Eric's sitting here, and you know what it's like before we start a show. And Eric doesn't mute. He turns his camera off, but doesn't mute the mic. And I hear him, and he's like talking to Christine. He's like, babe. She's like, what? He's like, they just turned on Seth, babe. The Vision just turned on Seth. And I'm like, me and Brian are sitting here like, well, I guess we don't have to rush to watch Raw now.
And I come back, and I'm like, you won't believe what happened.
I was like, oh, let me guess. The vision turned on Seth. He's
Oh,
like, how'd you know? I'm like, we heard you telling Christine. Oh, it was so funny. It was funny. It was a really funny moment. But yeah, somehow I managed to not get stuff spoiled for me for the most part. I'm gonna watch on. I have to go to Christina's. We have Christina's 20-year high school graduate or reunion, so we're going to that. I'll check it out in the morning. Maybe I'll watch a little bit before I go to sleep. So
Well,
it'll be
speaking of
good.
spoilers, circling back to a comment earlier,
Oh boy,
everyone try not to get spoiled from Stranger Things this weekend because you're going to have a lot of content to watch, and just stay offline. And yes, I'm bringing it back because Liv was at the premiere.
that's right. Liv was at the premiere. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
brought up earlier. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched Stranger Things, so
I
know,
told Ray
love-
he needs to watch it. Man, what is prime television right there? Come on.
I'm on the fence about watching it. I love things that are 1980s kind of inspired and based, and I love 80s movies and music and stuff. I'm not into the weird stuff. Sci-fi is not my bag. So I probably will like it. It's just getting myself to get over the hump of taking the time to add it into my routine, and I haven't gotten there yet.
Well, hopefully the vision turning on Seth in the Stranger Things scheme doesn't work or doesn't happen to you. So
you won't believe what happened.
I will tell you, I've heard of a ton of shows that I haven't watched or I waited to watch where somebody spoiled it for me. My memory is terrible. I can't remember what I did a weekend ago that I never remember when anybody tells me. Like if I wait like a month, I won't remember it. So that's just how my brain works. I very quickly depose or dispose of what I feel like I don't need at this particular moment. All right, we'll do it. And the last thing too, we're working on adding an AEW show too, because I do know there's a demographic and we don't cover much of it on our show. But Lazy Booking is working on bringing somebody in to cover our AEW content. So
lazy booking for the sickos.
This is good stuff, guys. Another roundtable under the belt here. Shout out to the greatest Survivor Series match of all time. Doinks on a Mission and the Doink Bushwhackers versus Bastion Booger. The Head Shrinkers. And who am I missing from them?
I mean, listen, that's particular Survivor Series has been referenced multiple times during the show already. So I think that speaks to how great that show is.
It is tremendous. Go back, check it out. It's phenomenal.
That 93?
93.
Boston, yeah. Boston Garden.
And I think that's when they had the neon entranceway too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Thank you guys for all the comments. We really appreciate you guys. The sickos. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And check back with us. Please come back on Saturday. Set your alerts so you know when Andy and the gang go live to talk Survivor Series live with you guys. So for myself, for Jimmy V, Eric, Arch, Ritz, Neeson, who popped off a little bit early with us, we appreciate it. We'll get our Survivor Series teams posted up this week, and check it and make sure you guys pay attention for the anecdotes with Arch. We wish you guys a happy and healthy and fulfilling Thanksgiving. Hope that you're nourished. I
was going to say, saying a healthy Thanksgiving is kind of contradictory.
Oxymoron,
yeah. And last but not least, Andy, what do we always wish for people?
Until next time, tell somebody you love them. Peace, love, and joy. We're out.
Go Birds.